Good morning, basketball fans. This is the Rallying Association podcast for Wednesday, November 19th. This is the best 15 minutes to replace everything, to give you everything you missed in the NBA and catch you up on what's going to happen on Wednesday night's games in the NBA. I'm your host, Danny Thompson, checking in with you. It's a wonderful basketball morning, and follow me on Twitter at Danny, D-A-N-N-Y, Thompson, THOMPSON on Twitter, as well as AroundTheAssociation.com and Around the Association's Facebook page, which is Around the Association on Facebook. Subscribe to this podcast, which is on Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Podomatic, and any other place you can find podcasts. So, a quick 4-game night in the NBA. So, let's take a look at what you missed last night in the NBA. And we're going to start and lead off the show with the Los Angeles Lakers last night, and a historic night for LeBron James. Once again, you know, history and LeBron James have always seemed to find each other, and LeBron James did something last night that no player in the history of the NBA has done. LeBron James recorded his 88th career triple-double last night as the Lakers take care of business against the Thunder 112-107 at Staples Center, but James once again sets an NBA record. James, with his 88th triple-double, becomes the first and only player in the history of the NBA to have a triple-double against every single team in the NBA. Last night marks James' 30th triple-double of his career, 30th different triple-double against a different team. And if you think about this, no other player had more than 28. So the guys even in front of him on this streak of his triple-doubles, which is like Jason Kidd, Oscar Robinson, and Russell Westbrook, they might have more triple-doubles, but LeBron's did it against every single team. James finished last night with 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. Like I said, his 30th career triple-double, another triple-double to go against another team. Phenomenal performance. Anthony Davis had 34 points. And really, the Lakers held on this game. Even though, like I said, it was a back-and-forth affair. The Thunder got close late in the late minutes, but it was too much Lakers down the stretch. Dennis Schroeder had 31 points to lead the Thunder, who are playing a back-to-back at Staples Center. And so far this season, no team has survived the back-to-backs inside Staples. Clippers lost on Tuesday night. Clippers beat the Thunder on Tuesday night and then lost on Monday night and then lost last night to the Lakers. Lakers are still the best team in the NBA right now, and they have won 12 of the last 13 games. The Lakers have just been completely dominant on both sides of the ball. They played defense when they needed to last night. They got the offensive chemistry going completely last night, and they did a lot of it without Kyle Kuzma last night, who got elbowed in the face, only played 9 minutes in the game last night. Rajon Rondo, 8 points, 10 assists off the bench. KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope had 13 points and 4 rebounds for the Lakers. Thunder also got a nice contribution from Danilo Gallinari after struggling the night before against the Clippers, 25 points and 6 rebounds for the Thunder. Good news is these teams play again in a couple days. They have 3 days to rest before the Lakers make their visit down to Oklahoma City, and they'll do that on Friday. Other games in the NBA last night, well, this was the return of Carmelo Anthony last night. The other big story that the NBA last night was Carmelo Anthony playing his first game in almost a year, and the New Orleans Pelicans spoiled his return as they took care of business at home, 115-104. Drew Holiday had 22 points and 10 assists. The returning Brandon Ingram had 21 points in his first game back after missing the last 4 for the Pelicans in their victory at home. Now, Carmelo played 24 minutes last night. If you look at the box score, I know you look at the numbers. He did shoot 4 of 14 from the floor. He played 24 minutes, 10 points, 4 rebounds, a block. But really, the 4-14, they're pretty good shots. Carmelo knocked down a couple 3-pointers. He had some nice shots, some open shots in the wing. There were moments where he did some nice little back downs, and really it was mostly about timing. Remember, Anthony hadn't really participated in the full practice. He joined the team yesterday and went through a little walk through today, and he played. You understand, the Blazers played last night. They played on Tuesday night, Monday night, now they're playing on Tuesday night, so they really didn't have much practice time. They play again in Milwaukee on Thursday, so we'll see how Carmelo's value returns and bounces back. Now, Portland at the same time did not have Damian Lillard, who was out due to back spasms. So you had a multitude of guys actually play pretty solid last night. CJ McCollum had 22 points and 5 assists. Anthony Simons, in starting in his place last night, his first career NBA start, well, not his first career start, but his first start of the season, 13 points and 4 rebounds. Nasir Little had 12 points and 11 rebounds off the bench. But like I said, Carmelo, he backed down. He was doing some nice little back downs. He looked like Carmelo of old. There were some great plays. He had some solid screen and rolls where he got to the basket. One where He nice little pick and roll to the rim. He got the layup. The other one, he tried to dunk on Jackson Hayes, and it just wasn't pretty. Hayes caught him at the rim. But like I said, Carmelo looked pretty wiry for a guy that hasn't played in a while. On the Pelican side of things, speaking of Jackson Hayes, this kid is really talented. He only played 20 minutes last night, but he showed the super talent that he has. 9.7 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 steals, filling stat sheets everywhere. Kendrick Williams also for the Pelicans, 8 points, 13 rebounds, 3 steals and a block, putting his name all over the stat sheet. JJ Redick knocked down 4 3-pointers in the game for the Pelicans. Like I said, the Pelicans are now, they win their 5th game of the season. Blazers are still struggling. Blazers will go to Milwaukee on Thursday night in their 3rd game of the road trip. And the Pelicans will go visit the Phoenix Suns as they start their road trip. Speaking of the Suns, last game of the night, the Sacramento Kings held on to beat the Phoenix Suns 120-116. Kings were up by as many as 28 points, as much as 1 point in this game, and they held on. Bojan Bogdanovic the last few games has been the playmaker, but last night he scored a career high 31 points and knocked down 7 rebounds. The Kings this time, Kings struggled with turnovers in the first half, 18 turnovers in the first half. But then, like I said, they extended the lead as many as 26 in the third quarter. The Suns got back in it late. They got a big push from Kelly Oubre, led by Kelly Oubre. Oubre finished with 20 points. Devin Booker had 30 points and 8 assists to lead the Suns. Ricky Rubio was having some issue of back spasms and only played 16 minutes. Only 1 point, 1 assist, 1.1 rebound, 2 assists for him. Mikal Bridges had 20 points and 5 rebounds off the bench for the Phoenix, and also Ricky Johnson had 18 points off the bench for the Suns. But this was really all about the Kings last night. Bogdanovic had 31 points. He also had 7 assists. Corey Joseph had a career high 14 assists to go along with his 6 points. Rashard Holmes 20 points and 15 rebounds, and Bjelica had 17 points and 8 rebounds. But like I said, the Kings had to hold on to a lead. The problem was they gave up another 70 point half, but they survived by playing some good defense down the stretch, and really was some free throw shooting from Yogi Ferrell, and Holmes knocked down 2 free throws under a minute to go to give the Kings their victory. The Kings are 6-2 this month, so you really have to be really impressed with a Kings team that's been 6-2 without guys like De'Aaron Fox and guys without Marvin Bagley, 2 of their major guys in the game. But like I said, Joseph had a 14 assists off the bench. But the Kings got off to a really, really hot start. They shot 65% in the quarter, the opening quarter, to put themselves in the lead. The Suns will host New Orleans again on Thursday. The Kings will make their trip out east to play the struggling and wounded Brooklyn Nets in Brooklyn on Friday. Now, you all know Wednesday, before we go into Wednesday's game, we got to talk the stud of the night. And really the stud of the night, of course, you can't really go against the King, LeBron James, the triple-double streak, also the triple-double record for most getting one against every single team is going to take the prize tonight. 25 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists from James. When you get a milestone like that, you got to become the stud of the night. Also, Bojan Bogdanovic's 31 points with his 7 assists also comes in that list, as well as, don't forget, Anthony Davis, 34 points and 7 rebounds, also get some honorable mentions. NBA's Wednesday night schedule is pretty deep. Of course, NBA's known for their Wednesday night games, and of course 11 on the schedule of the night. And the one that's going to cap my eye and it's going to start my attention, and the game of the night will be out in actually 2 games. Out in Denver as the Houston Rockets take on the Denver Nuggets at 9 p.m. on NBA League Pass. Rockets are soaring. James Harden is scoring, and Russell Westbrook is starting to find his place and figure out his role. Harden is averaging 39 points a game, which leads the NBA. 39 points a game in his first 14. We haven't seen that in years. The closest player, I think, a guy with the most points in that type of streak, I think, is Will Chamberlain. Nuggets 9-3 after having a huge game from Jamal Murray the other night. The Nuggets return home. It's going to be up and down and fair. Rockets, like I said, are getting Clint Capella back. Can the Nuggets score enough points to keep up with the Rockets? The other game is going to be on ESPN. That's the late game of their doubleheader. 10 o'clock, Celtics and Clippers. We're not sure about if Kawhi Leonard is going to go. The Celtics are still probably the best. They're the best team in the Eastern Conference. They're coming into their road trip. This is a game that's going to be probably a game that you want to stay up for. Paul George has been phenomenal in the limited minutes he's played. He had the 2 big scoring efforts, and then the game winner the other night against the Thunder. George has been literally dynamic. He's starting to play more and more minutes. We want to see the injury situation with guys like Patrick Beverley and Kawhi Leonard before they get in. We don't know if he's going to play, but like I said, the Celtics are loaded, and Doc Rivers has really been kind of quiet on the status of Kawhi. Other games on the list, ESPN does have a doubleheader. Remember, this is a 7:30, 10 o'clock doubleheader. We'll start the first ESPN game. Will be at 7:30, and that will be the Golden State Warriors and Dallas Mavericks. If you're going to watch this game, you're watching for Luka Doncic. Can Luka get his 7th triple-double of the season? Doncic was phenomenal. He had a 40-point triple-double the other night in the Mavericks victory. Golden State's coming off a back-to-back where they beat Memphis last night. We speak the Memphis game last night. Speaking of that, Golden State did beat Memphis last night. Like I said, it's been a long season for the Warriors. 114-95 in Golden State's victory. Alec Burks had 29 points in his starting role for the Warriors. Glenn Robinson III had 20 points in the game. Really, the Warriors controlled this game from start to finish. Memphis got off to another terrible start in the third quarter. They were outscored. The second quarter, they were outscored at one point 26-4. Draymond Green was 2 points away from a triple-double, as he does what Draymond Green does. Fill the stat sheet, 8 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. They got 17 points from Eric Paschal. Like I said, 17 points from Marquise Chris off the bench. Memphis just couldn't knock down shots, went through a cold stretch. This has been the real trend for the Grizzlies over the last couple games. Like I said, Morant had 20 points and 6 assists in the game. Rookie Brandon Clark had 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, as Jay Crowder also had double-double with 15 and 11. Grizzlies, like I said, once again, just could not knock down shots. And this has been a real problem. They had poor shooting and defense in the second quarter. Like I said, the Warriors had 26-4 run to pretty much blow the game away. Warriors, like I said, do play on Wednesday night. And the Grizzlies will go a couple more days and have a few days off to try to lick their wounds before they host the Lakers on Saturday. Back to the Wednesday night schedule, like I said, we'll start with the top to bottom. Knicks against the Sixers, a 7 p.m. tip-off. The Knicks won their last game. Can they win 2 in a row? Sixers are still figuring things out in the Eastern Conference, especially with their team and all their pieces. Should have a full healthy team for Philadelphia. Probably win tonight. Wizards and Spurs. This game is always going to be entertaining. Bradley Beal's been scoring all over the floor. Can the Spurs find a way to keep Bradley Beal off the scoring? Off the scoreboard? I think Beal had almost 40 against the Magic again the other night on Sunday. Other games on the list, you're looking at, like I said, we mentioned the 2 late games, the 2 key games on the list. Other games you want to look out for on Wednesday night include, give me 1 second, let's pull the schedule back up. You have Milwaukee and I'm having issues this morning. Milwaukee and Atlanta, 7:30 down in Atlanta. Milwaukee's 10-3. It's a first set of back-to-back for the Bucks. Like I said, they have the Rockets on Thursday night. Hawks are still reeling, trying to find other offensive options other than Trae Young. Can they get Jabari Parker against his former team to step it up? Can they find other scoring? Maybe Cam Reddish, maybe DeAndre Hunter. But like I said, they're going against Giannis, as well as Eric Bledsoe and the rest of the Milwaukee Bucks, who are 10-3. The Hornets take on the struggling Brooklyn Nets. Not sure about Kyrie Irving's situation. Will Irving even play? Hornets are 6-8, coming off a rough second half against the Toronto Raptors. They need all the scoring they can get. Hopefully Devontae Graham and company can find some ways to score, and Terry Rozier find some consistency against a team that was really interested in the offseason. Heat, Cavs. Cleveland struggled without Kevin Love. Love left the game early. Did not play the other night against the Knicks. Hopefully his back will allow him to play. Miami still doesn't have Justice Winslow in the lineup. Can Miami find some scoring? Also we're not sure about Gordon Dragic's situation. Kendrick Nunn should be a key in this game. The Heat like to get up and down. Maybe Duncan Robinson knocked down 3s from Miami. We'll see what Cleveland has to do to counter that. Magic and Raptors in a rematch of a game that, another rematch of their Eastern Conference playoff series from last year. Raptors are at home 9-4. They took care of Charlotte on Monday night. Orlando is coming in off winning having a nice little home stretch at home where they won 4 of their 5 games during their homestand. Can the Magic bring the momentum? Nikola Vucevic is the reigning Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Let's see how he maintains and continues that going forward. Pistons and Bulls, 8 o'clock. Listen, this game has been. The Pistons are still trying to get readjusted with Blake Griffin and Derrick Rose in the lineup. The Bulls are still trying to figure out what they're going to do offensively. Can Kobe White still continue to score? And if he does, when is James Worley going to put this kid in the lineup? Nothing against Tomas Satoransky or Chris Dunn. But if Kobe White is still playing at a high level, Kobe White needs to be in the starting lineup. The Bulls aren't really going anywhere. They're 4-10 in the season. Jazz and Timberwolves. Hopefully Andrew Wiggins will be returning for the Timberwolves in the last couple games. And the Jazz have been up and down. It's really about, can they get some consistency scoring other than Donovan Mitchell? Because when Mitchell's not scoring, the Jazz seem to struggle. He hit like they did the other night. Mitchell did not shoot the ball very well. in their last game. Timberwolves, can they get more scoring other than Karl-Anthony Towns? Remember, Towns is not going to hit 7 3-pointers like he did the other night. It just normally doesn't happen. So, as a busy night in the NBA, we have coming up 11 games. There's going to be a lot to talk about on Thursday's show. And I'll be here with you on Thursday morning to go over everything you missed in the NBA. So, if you want to follow me on Twitter at Danny, D-A-N-N-Y, Thompson, THOMPSON, number 3 on Twitter, as well as the Raleigh Association's Facebook page. Follow the show on Spreaker, iTunes, Podomatic, iHeartRadio, and every other place you can find podcasts. Also, check out RoundTheAssociation.com. You'll have some more insight, including my brand new power rankings for this week. So, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Like I said, catching up with everything you missed in the NBA. This is Danny Thompson from Round the Association. See you tomorrow. Peace.